Jones, it's you and I. Let's get into this PowerPoint and open your mind. Um, and I always believe who's supposed to be here is supposed to be here.
Yes.
We got one more joining, Tangi. Good morning, Miss Daniels.
Teachers, getting on the bus.
Hello. Okay, she's on another line, but good morning, Miss Daniels. Um, Let me go on to who we are. We love creating millionaires. That's our goal and our role. Um, and I will say right now, just because of what's going on, we've got to mobilize. We've got to come together because it's really crazy out here in them streets, as they say up in DC, and understanding how we go about mobilizing and also understanding your why. Why are you getting into business? Why? What's going to motivate you? Because that why is what's going to carry you. And my why is my father, who was one of the first Black African American police officers in my hometown of Asheville. He ended up suing the police department on discrimination, won, retired, ran for city council, won, and while he was there as a city councilman, he decided that he found land by the projects and felt like the kids needed a park. So he was able to get it funded. And I'm happy to say that we have a park in our name in Asheville, North Carolina. So for me, he is my why. That's why I do what I do and making sure that I can pass this torch to you guys. I'm in the fourth generation, fourth quarter. And for me, it's about leaving the legacy. And you guys become my legacy. You do the work. I don't guarantee anything, but I do say you put the work in, it works. So a little bit about me. Originally, again, I'm from Asheville, North Carolina. After college, I went to Washington, D.C., and my first job was with a company that was a part of this 8A program. Have you heard of the 8A program?
No, I haven't.
Okay, we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
Um, And my first job was doing event planning with the federal government on a contract. So that contract was a part of this program. And every 3 years, I traveled with that one contract to 6 different companies before I decided to start my own business. So in 1996, I started my first business. First year in business, I received $1 million contract. Second year, I applied into the 8A, received another $3 million contract, and grew it to close to $15 million in contract over a 5 year period of time. Had almost 40 employees and 2 partners. And that's where the trouble began. I had one partner who felt like he could run all his personal expenses through the business. The last straw for me was a $3,000 custom-made pinstripe suit with his initials going down the pinstripe on a company. I had my assistant to do an audit on his account. He takes her in the elevator and threatens her. I then terminate him. He then conspired with 2 employees to sue me and the other partner for sexual harassment. After 2 years of attorney fees, 125,000 in attorney fees, 100,000 to buy him out, I had no more operating cash. So I ended up closing the business in 2005, and it really pushed me to my new passion because I realized no one was training anyone in my community on how to start a business and grow a business on that level. So I volunteered as a SCORE counselor, which is a resource partner of SBA, for 2 years, set up a government training program there. After 2 years and running out of money, I applied for a position with the Small Business Administration. And my job was to service the businesses that was a part of this program. But it was also where I started in Philadelphia was the office that actually processed the applications for businesses getting into the program. After 4 years there, I relocated here to Atlanta. And after 3 years here, in this office, I fired myself and said, you know what? I'm gonna create an SBA on the outside. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. But while I was in SBA, they required me to become certified as a contract specialist. And for me, that was the icing on the cake because I run a business, I understood SBA and their programs and how they operated, but I wasn't quite sure how the agencies put together their contracts. The contracts for you to compete. So becoming certified as a contract specialist allowed me to see their process. I've trained more than 10,000 businesses on marketing to the federal government, and I have assisted through GPI small businesses to win over 1.5 billion in contracts across various industries. Yes, I got receipts. I've also self-published a book called That's Crazy, Recognize Crazy and Run. It's about that crazy business. Names have been changed to protect the innocent, but I wanted you all to I wanted to tell my story because I'm just like you. I started just like you with the dream of building a business and not understanding the business side. So when you look at SBA and you look at what are the challenges small businesses have getting into this space, doing workshops at SBA, so often people will come in and they will leave and it's like great information. But after they leave, they're not quite sure how to connect the dots. And it's the same thing with the government agency. No one understands SBA's operations. So for me, it's connecting the dots for the businesses, understanding what are the barriers. And the barriers is government language, their processes, understanding what certifications I will need. Once I determine the certifications of what documentations will I need. How are these websites connected? And understanding and working with many of SBA's resource partners and SBA employees. No one has run a business. Everything that they're giving you is information-based as opposed to process-based. So that was the reason I created this program, combining the two. Combining the two, the business side with SBA and their regulations. And my lessons learned. So the first thing I tell small businesses, do not limit your business. Most small businesses will start their business on their skill set. When you're managing a business, it has nothing to do with your skill set. After I won that first $1 million contract, I was no longer doing event planning. And my mentor pulled me aside and said, why are you pigeonholing yourself? And when he said that, it made sense based on the companies I'd gone through and looking at their business model and seeing which ones were successful. So I changed my business model to a management consulting firm, and then I created divisions. I had an event planning division, I had an IT division, I had a publication division, I had a database division. because I was using vendors in those areas to coordinate the events. So I just created separate divisions and sold those services separately. And I started winning contracts. In this space, the government, you're not looking, um, the government's not looking at you to have all these people on staff. They're looking at you to find the people to do the work. That's how you make money. You're making money off of the people. That's how we were brought over here. We were brought over here to man the real estate and to give a lot of free labor. So that's the game of being in business. So in my first module, we help you to create a business model that's going to be sustainable and not based on your skill set. The second part of this is understanding that collaboration is key. We cannot do this by ourselves. We need for us to come together now more than ever and understand we're powerful in numbers. All of these contracts and all of SBA's programs require us to collaborate. So in our second module, we put you into teams, and at that stage, we're the government. You have to learn how to work together and deliver on the projects that we're requiring you to deliver on. Third, you must have the infrastructure. You know what I mean by infrastructure? Anybody? I'm gonna open it up to ask questions. What do I mean by infrastructure? Anybody?
Maybe like the knowledge and like the structure of your business.
Uh, an accountant, a lawyer,
Okay.
understanding once I got sued, I didn't have enough insurance to cover my costs. I didn't have the right insurance. So I tell businesses before you hire one employee, you need to make sure you have employment, practice, liability insurance. Employment, practice, liability insurance. Had I had that insurance, that would have covered the attorney fees and the buyout of the partner. These are things that nobody tell you. So I was learning how to manage a business while I was winning contracts. Getting the contracts was easy. I just didn't know enough business. So when you look at the government operates on a fiscal year. Their fiscal year starts October 1st and ends September 30th. And what happens before they pass a budget, and that's what's occurring right now, is the government is operating on what you call a continuing resolution. They have limited money. They're not operating on a full budget. Has anybody been watching the news, and have you all heard this kind of discussion going on right now? Huh? Anybody knows when this is ending? What's the deadline? Huh? Somebody? Next week, March 14th, when they talking about shutting down. So for you, as a small business, there's a peak time and a downtime to market to the government, typically in a regular cycle. But right now, this is just new. Is October to February. Because what happens is once they pass the budget, then the agencies are trying to get rid of the money. So the closer they get to September, the more they're trying to get rid of all their money. So right now, nobody's really doing anything because they don't have any money. So to me, as a small business, that's the best time to start trying to reach out and build relationships with these agencies. The government operates on goals. Every year, SBA negotiate with each agency and setting aside contracts for first small businesses. 23% of contracts every year are set aside for small businesses. 5% for women-owned, 5% for small disadvantaged businesses, 5% for service disabled, and 3% for HUBZone. So the more certifications you have, you're helping the agency achieve their goals. And then over here, SBA publicized what agencies met their goals. And you can see over here, there's a whole lot of money just being awarded to small businesses. And so part of a strategy would be maybe targeting those agencies if you're a woman-owned business that didn't meet their goals as a strategy. So there's a scorecard that's kept, and we teach you how to create a strategy in this space. And then what I realized when I left SBA, when I started working at SBA, people outside of that DMV district, Maryland and Virginia area, don't have a clue based on the number of businesses registered in SBA program. So when you look at this program, and we're going to focus on this, you can see the number of businesses that are in it. That was just as of last year in this program. When I moved here to Atlanta, and I started looking at surrounding states, I said, there's a problem. Here is only 46 businesses in the entire state of South Carolina, 73 in North Carolina, and this is a program that started out for Black-owned businesses. And I'll tell you why I'm just shocked with these numbers, because I refuse to believe, especially in South Carolina and Georgia, that we don't have more than 200 Black-owned businesses in the entire state. Something is wrong. So that was one of my mission in coming out and educating us and getting us in the game. Because what I was finding was businesses from out of state was coming here and winning contracts. There was no competition. And you have, what do you have here? Someone. What federal agencies do you have? Why would people be coming here to win contracts? Anybody? What federal agencies are here? Who handled COVID?
The CDC.
CDC. And then you have 5 military bases. Wherever there's a military base, there's government contracts. So I use this website to visually show you guys how we're not playing in this program. And this was as of last year, amount of dollars that were being awarded. And why we're not playing in this program. Something is wrong. This is a database where you go to register and look for federal contracts. And what I tell small businesses, I recommend that you start at the federal side. SBA's resource partners will tell you you're not ready for the federal, start state and local, and then go to the federal. But you got more competition when you're looking at bids and opportunities on the state and local area, whereas on the federal side, there's not enough small businesses competing, especially as we get closer to the end of the year. And they have buys that are specifically for small businesses that are 250,000 and below. And again, you don't have to know anything. Even I'm just looking at this opportunity. They want a Spanish Protestant religious pianist. You just go to the Hispanic community, and I'm sure the Protestants have some type of organization that you could reach out to. So it's minimizing. Thinking outside of the box. This is another example of opportunity. The government needed carpet cleaning in Alabama, right? And this was due last month. And these are the specs for the job that they're looking for. Do I need to know how to clean carpet? Someone?
No.
What would you do?
Find a team.
Hmm? Find a team or a subcontractor. I'm just like you would do in your house. Get 3 quotes, give them the specs, and then you put your money on top of it. That's how you make money. These are the run and dones for me. And that's how you begin to build your revenue. That makes sense? Just think of government contract as project management. I don't have to know anything about that contract to win it. My job as the CEO is find the people to do the work. That's how I make money. So it's a mind shift. We've been trained to be laborers. The education system teaches you how to go work for someone. No one's teaching you how to manage a business. The federal government also will publish what they call their forecasts. Every agency will have a forecast of what they anticipate spending in that fiscal year. And this is how you get in front of it. On sam.gov, you're reacting. Here, you're able to position yourself to start talking to these buyers before they come out. And again, it becomes building those relationships. And in this forecast, you can see some of these, you don't even need certifications. Things that are total small businesses are things that you can purchase. So here, right here, there's a contract they said they anticipated coming out in July, award in August. That's a run and done. They need retirement plaques for employees. 25 to 1,000 to 50 is what they're looking at for the budget. So I can reach out to Miss Williams now to ask her how many plaques are you anticipating that you'll need? Are there any special specifications? So you're getting the information ahead of it being advertised. Once it's advertised, she's not going to be able to give you an advantage. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes.
All right, Miss Jones, I'm glad. I'm not sure if Malika and Tangi, y'all
Yes,
with me?
it makes sense.
Okay.
I'm following you. I'm
Okay.
picking up what you're putting down. I'm looking.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to make sure y'all hear me. So in order to get in this game, you self-certify at this database. SAM again, Systems for Awards Management. We called it when I was working at SBA such a mess. There's a lot of bugs in it, but you can self-certify as a small business and a small disadvantaged business. There are only 4 programs that require an application that you submit to SBA and you're approved into the program by SBA. The first program, the 8A Business Development Program, is designed to build your business. The HUBZone program is designed to build communities, and then women-owned and service disabled veteran-owned is just what it is. This is the database that you go to now. In October, they merged all of these programs into one database so that once you upload your information for one program, it'll go across the board. Previously, you had to go to each one of these. They were in separate database and upload the same information. This also still has bugs in it. So when I look at the 8A, the 8A is really a program to my heart because this is our pathway, hear me, to generational wealth. This program is under attack based on that lawsuit that they filed last year and trying to expand it to allow non-minorities to get in. They've always been able to get in, but now they are opening it up. And people ask me all the time, well, what's going on now? They're getting rid of all the DEI, and how is that going to affect this program? They're not going to get rid of this program because by law, this is the only program that allows you to get $4.5 million sole source, non-competitive. Did the church hear me on that? Do you understand what I just said?
Yeah, can you break that down? This is Malika. Like, what does that mean? I read where it was as long as it's under that amount, like 4 million or 4 is what I think I read. You don't necessarily have to compete, but when they say you don't have to compete, are you not competing against other people bidding? I don't understand.
These are contracts that will never be posted or advertised on SAM.gov. I can go in an agency and say, this is what I do. They say, ooh, I like you, we're gonna give you this contract. And so what we teach you in the program is teaming up with someone that's in the program that's getting ready to graduate. Have them to start subcontracting to you before they graduate. That gives you enough time to apply into the program. And by the time they graduate, then that contract can flip to you. Now you become the prime and they become the sub. Is that clear it up from you, Ms. Franklin?
So you're saying within your program, you're someone who's like a senior in your program would already have a contract.
People that are in this program, there's 1,700 of them in this program nationally. They, after 9 years, they graduate from the program, which means they no longer have access to these pool of dollars. They're going to lose those contracts. So what I'm teaching you all to do is position yourself with those companies that are getting ready to graduate, and they can start subcontracting to you on those contracts before they graduate. So when they graduate, the agency now can make you the prime, and then they become the sub. Otherwise, they'll lose all the complete contract.
Oh, I thought you meant your program. So you basically are saying that you have privy to these people and you connect people within your cohort
No,
with.
I teach you how to talk to them, date them, find them, uh, dress up and look like them in the program.
How successful has that been?
It's been very successful. I've made a lot of millionaires. I've been doing this 10 years. And the game that we play is, for instance, one of my most successful ones. She started out real estate. She's helped her change her business model. She's doing professional services. She's done about $75 million in contracts. She leveraged that to get an Amazon contract. Now she's doing development. But along the way, she had a son that got out of the military and got out of the military and 3 years ago. And I said, start subcontracting to him now. Get him incorporated. Get him certified as a service disabled vet. She graduated in August. She's been subcontracting to him. So all the contracts that she has, she now is getting ready to give it to him, and she subcontracts on that contract. This is how we begin to create generational wealth. She has a 23-year-old who's like, well, what y'all doing? So she wanted to get in the game. So she came through the program, and now she's managing her Amazon umbrella, but also she's certified as a woman-owned small business. Are you hearing the game?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have 9 years, and it's like a quid pro quo, like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I'm gonna graduate off of this program, but I want to keep the money flowing.
Yep.
So I'm gonna move from a main contractor to being a subcontractor, and we'll have another 9 years.
Yep. There you go. Bingo. All right, you getting it, right?
Right. So how much do you earn off of this? I used to work for a government contractor years ago. And as a financial analyst, we would burden the cost,
Mhm.
meaning
Yes.
the contract was with the CDC, and it was an IT contract. So we would burden the cost to the tune of about 12%. Um,
Uh, in those contracts, everything is paid for. Your overhead, my salary, health insurance benefits. Um, there's different pools where the government's going to reimburse you. After all your expenses and my salary, and based on the type of contract, um, you could get anywhere from 8 to 10% of profit. I'll show you an example shortly. But let me go ahead and get through this quickly. But I just want y'all to understand this is the game changer for our community. No other program is designed to build your business for 9 years. And we're not in it. And there's no competition here in Georgia. HUBZone is based on where your business is located. Um, if your business is located in an area that's classified as a hub zone and 35% of your employees live in a hub zone, then you can qualify into this program. This is designed to build communities. For the social component of the 8A program, these are previously, you automatically qualified if you were a member of any one of these ethnic groups. Based on the lawsuit, they're now requiring that you write a social narrative on how you've been traumatized being Black in America. I can get past that. Um, the other thing is, even if you have a record, and this is another way for me to try to change this just us system. If you have a record, but you're not on parole or probation, you can start a business and get into this program as well. And to me, that's the way that you can change the dynamics of our community. Give them a way to support their family. For the 8A program, it's based on two components, social and economic. The economic component is based on your net worth. It cannot exceed $850,000 minus any equity in your home or any equity in your business. Um, if you have rental property, the equity in those properties will be counted against you. You cannot have multiple entities going on because SBA wants you to be full-time under the entity that you are applying into the program and you as an individual. So if you have multiple entities and you have revenue coming in those other entities, SBA is saying, we don't know which master you're serving. And if we're going to give you 9 years of access to these sole source contracts, we need to make sure you're committed to the entity that we're going to build. Make sense? Any questions?
yes, that makes sense.
If you're in the real estate industry, you cannot have that broker's code. What I tell people and what you even through the program, what you learn is Everybody in this space is pretty much project management consulting. So I place you under the code of 541611. That's an industry code, and it's a management consulting code. And a lot of opportunities, specifically in this program, will fall under that code. So what we're training you to do is create a business model that's going to be sustainable based on what the government is buying, and you're finding the people with the skill sets to perform. That's how you make money. The HUBZone program, there's no term limit. They just changed this. You're gonna recertify every 3 years. In this program, you also get access to competitive and sole source contracts. The difference in this program and the 8A program, in order for the agency to do a sole source contract, they have to make sure that there are at least 2 companies that responded are qualified to perform on that contract. That's the only way that they can do a sole source contract in this program and the other programs. That's called the rule of 2. In this program, you get what they call a 10% price evaluation preference, meaning the government's going to add 10% on someone else's cost that's not a part of the program. That's going to give you an advantage. The qualification, your principal office must be in the HUBZone. And again, 35% of your employees must live in a HUBZone. It doesn't have to be in the same space where their office is, just as long as they live in a HUBZone. This is the map that you put in to determine whether or not your business or your home-based business is in a HUBZone. And when I look at HUBZone, it doesn't necessarily have to mean the hood zone. Here is where I worked at SBA, the district office, downtown on Peachtree. That's Hotel District, where all the high-end hotels. But that is a HUBZone area. Why do you all think it's a HUBZone area? What's down in that area? Anyone? The homeless shelters. You got 5 points. So that's what makes this a HUBZone.
Did not know that. I said I did not know that.
Yeah. So you got to be strategic on how we're going to play this game. The women's program, again, it's changed to my SBA certifications. There's 2 components of it. Economically disadvantaged in the WOSB. The ED component is mirroring the qualifications of the 8A program. It's based on your net worth. Once you apply into the ED, you're automatically a WOSB. You can do it through several ways. You can do it yourself by uploading. SBA has third-party certifiers. There's fees associated with that. And to me, all you're doing is giving them the information to upload. There is nothing special that they're doing, so save yourself the time. That's part of what we're showing you in the class. These are the requirements. Again, full-time, and if you're not full-time, there's ways around that, even with the 8A. How they find out whether or not you're full-time is your tax returns. But if you're in an industry, let's say it's IT, that's not necessarily normal working hours. So you can justify me not working full-time in the business in normal working hours, just as long as you're able to demonstrate how you are working in that business. This program is still relatively new. It became law when I was working at SBA in Philadelphia. And all the men were calling to see how they can get their women in front of this. So we've got to learn this game, everyone. Veterans program, again, competitive, rule of two, everything is run through SBA now. This program has taken about 6 weeks for people to get approved in. Do I have any veterans online? And whatever certifications I don't have, I'm gonna partner with somebody because I don't want to miss any opportunities. But again, the veterans is pretty, again, a checklist. It goes to SBA. Not that complicated. This is where a lot of confusions come in. Right now, we've got to switch up the game based on the climate. We've been trained to lead. I got all these certifications, E, E, B, B, D, D, D. We've got to change that message. You're always going to go in as a small business. And by the way, I have these certifications. So when you look at these certifications, corporate, if you're marketing to corporate, they're going to look for your MBE, WBE, VBE. And these are the organizations that approve those certifications. We just covered all of the federal. For state, it's DBEs. And those are usually approved by Department of Transportation. And sometimes by the rail stations. Here, MARTA, up in DC was Metro, in Philadelphia, SEPTA. And then you're going to have local certifications. So it's understanding who to market to and where. To me, you're with the DBEs, you're always going to be a subcontractor. They're never going to let you be a prime. Up here, you don't know where the money is. And so for me, I say start here and then come down. It's an easier pathway. And less competition. That's all it is being in business. I'm going to go to a couple of websites right quick. Any questions on the program and what I just covered? Anybody?
No, not at this time.
Okay, I'm going to take y'all to some websites. USA Spending. This is the website that we help you create a marketing strategy around. This is where all dollars are kept. It's tracking where your tax dollars are coming from by state, and it breaks it down by contracts and grants. Grants are for nonprofits. What we're talking about here is all for-profit businesses. As an example, just to give you an example of one of the students and what she won, actually while she was taking the class. So these are some of the low-hanging fruits that she won. This particular contract, let me go here. This contract, you can see it was a 3-month project. The government needed meeting space for 3 days. She found a hotel. The hotel's cost was $48,000. She put her bid in at 104 and she won. And if you go down here, it tells you everything about the contract. It tells you how many people competed. And so when you look at this, what do you all see? How many people competed on this?
One.
No competition. That's what I call the low-hanging fruit. Here, what was this one? Was landscaping. This was a 5-year contract. She's here in Georgia, right? The place of performance is I think it's in Miami. And you can see how much she's been paid each year. The place of performance is in Florida. So again, the only thing she did was found a subcontractor, got their costs, and put their costs up on it, on top of it. Here was an opportunity. That's why I say you don't have to pigeonhole yourself. There was an opportunity that was out. I actually trained Malik Yoba and his family, and I was showing them an opportunity that fit right in with what they were doing. There it is. The government, people get intimidated by the number of pages. They just needed, what was this one? That was security services. Over here, they needed video production services. They're telling you the date is going to be at Constitution Hall, and these are the tasks that they're looking for. 2 days. I said, it fits right here. So the only thing you're going to do is find you a company that does this service up in DC and put your price on top of it. And what I showed him is, and then this is the actual scope of work. It's at Constitution Hall. They're gonna look at the company's records to make sure they're good, and then they tell you what they want in your offer. Not that complicated. So what I did with them is I love this website, and this is how we incorporate AI. Perplexity. I like it better than GPT because it just gives me direct answers. So I said, provide me with production companies servicing Constitution Hall. That's where the event is. Boom. You can't ask for anything better than that. Are y'all hearing me? Y'all not getting excited with me? Y'all not hearing this? Yes?
Yes, that's nice.
I'm
Are
gonna
you,
use it.
huh?
I like it. I'll be using Perplexity AI.
And then it's giving you the reference. All you doing, getting the contact. So you calling up Bob and you giving them that scope of work. What's the cost? And now you have your 3 vendors, and now you get to put your costs on top of it. You're just managing it. Does that make sense to y'all?
Yes, that does.
I don't have to know anything about this contract. That's not my job. They're not expecting me to go set up. I'm managing it. Okay? Somebody asked about the context. I mean, how do I make money? This contract, I came in second, and that's what I did in the program. I created templates, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just follow the blueprint. That's what folks have done. So this was actually $30 million contract. I lost on the cost, or 29 million. But here is the cost proposal. These are all contingency hires that I would have to hire to perform on these contracts. And this is the hourly rate that I'm paying for each position. It's a 5-year contract. You get to, they're going to get raises throughout the 5 years. Over here is what they call fringe benefits. The government knows it costs me to hire people, so I have to bill out that cost for each person because they're going to reimburse me. This is another pool. The government's going to reimburse me where my salary came out, rent, other different things that apply to overhead. Government's reimbursing me. This right here is passed through. I had a subcontractor. Those were her costs or their costs. And then there's another pool of money. I needed to hire a full-time bookkeeper to process reimbursement. So their salary came out of here. And then after everything was paid and done, this would have been my profit. Had I won for the 5 years, it would have been 1.2 million just to take home. This is how we not playing. So I don't think we even
Excuse
think
me.
it.
Would
Huh?
that be 1.2 million annually
No, total.
over how many years?
5 years. This would have been the profit each year.
Oh, that's what I meant annually. Like, so each year you would make 1.2 million.
No, this was my profit right here, 375. The total would have been 1.2 million out of the 5 years. You got that, Miss Franklin?
Oh yeah, okay, I understand. I'm sorry, I thought I was speaking. Um, is that on top of a salary?
Yeah, everything is in here. After all my expenses are covered, this is my take home profit.
Okay, cool beans. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Um, that's how you're building a company. That's how you're building the company. And what I've done in the program is I understood in this website, I have 2,800 people in this database. So if I'm looking for a contract, I have an opportunity in California. I can come in this database and view people's profile, and they're going to know that area. They're going to know who to reach out in those vendors. This is how we begin to come together and work together. We've got to work together. That's the only way we're going to survive this madness right now, y'all. My program, it's broken into three modules: business ready, government ready, contract ready. People are always, even people that's been in business for years, I make everyone start at the same place because you have to look at entering in this space as a startup, and it's different language. And it's being taught from SBA's perspective. You don't know what SBA is looking for. So we're helping you getting your documents organized and making sure the I's and T's are crossed for your submission. And after the first module, I have templates on those types of RFQs to help you to start competing. My goal is you get a quicker return on your investment. The second module is all around teaming. You understanding how to partner and identify those companies that are graduating. How do I approach them? How do I find them? And who are the key players on the government side? And the third module is all geared around the All Small Mentor Protege program and the 8A program. I've provided you with a business plan template that you'll have to submit when you go into the 8A program and the All Small Mentor Protege program. It's your guiding tool, and it's things that you don't know that you should know. Is all in that business plan. You just have to customize it. The price is $24.97, and for today only, my spirit said give another little discount. It's $21.97 until midnight. I'll continue with the regular early bird rate until Friday. If you bring in a second person, that cost is $34.97. So I'm still trying to help people minimize the impact. My goal is to get the government to pay for this. That's what I'm working on this side. So people don't have to pay for this training. That's my reparation. The next class will start Wednesday, March 19th from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. You meet with a live instructor, and he is actually out of the DC area. He's managing contracts with 200 million. He's helped small businesses sell their companies, and that's the goal, is to get you to the point where somebody buy you. That's where we get generational wealth. I can't get you there. I only got to 15 million, but I had a mentor that was um, um, mentoring me, and he got in the 8A program and sold it for $27 million. This is how we create um, generational wealth. Additionally, for additional support, I have office hours on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. I'm the one that's in the office hours teaching those classes to support the trainers. That's when all the cohorts come together, and I may go in a little bit more depth of what you've learned in these sessions. On Thursdays, to complete your homework, because every week you're going to have homework assignments, but it's all applicable towards your business. So we have somebody to support you in completing your lab sessions. And what I did was took everything from that business and created templates so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just follow the blueprint. I don't guarantee anything, but you do the work. I got too many people that have applied it and have become millionaires. Um, these are some of the deliverables that you'll have in the first module. You're doing the homework, you're understanding how to build your business, and doing the research. This is the team project, and then that's it. Anybody have any questions? I would also encourage you to go to my website. I have a business tube, and part of the business tube is when people win, they start winning their contracts. It's about each one, teach one. They have to come back and share how they won. This is my $1 billion baby. She won a $1 billion contract with USDA, managing all of their foreclosed properties nationally. She started with me. That's the one that's 75 million and doing Amazon and doing development. She's did about 200 million. So it's each one, teach one is what we preach. Any questions? This guy, he's getting ready to graduate, but I helped him get into the mentor protege program. And he'd only been in business 2 years. He got in the program, found his mentor. We got him approved. They created a joint venture. The next year, he won a $53 million contract under that joint venture, 10 years. Second contract under was 100 million. So we got to think larger and stop chasing the crumbs. That's how I feel about this. And all right, any questions? And what's some takeaways? I'm coming back on camera. Let me see y'all. Takeaways.
Hi. For me, it was just reassuring to know that, I don't have to be an expert at everything that I'm bidding on, and really just managing it and finding experts out there to help facilitate the work. So that was something that I never really thought of.
Makes sense though, don't it? Miss Franklin.
Yeah, that was my same takeaway when I'm looking at the government space, because I'm going into it with wanting to provide IT services, because I know that the government is behind and maybe updating a
So
lot of their IT.
that's one vertical.
Right. But then I didn't know that you could even bid on stuff that wasn't your specialty. I thought it was like specialty based, but you can hire someone, a specialist for that.
Subject matter experts. After I won that first $1 million doing event planning, I had 4 employees. I wasn't doing event planning. I had to build the business. So it's the shift, and that's the hardest part people have in that first module, is changing their mindset. I keep saying, I don't have to know anything about that contract. That's not my job. My job is to find the people, and I make money off the people. And please introduce yourself. And Malika, how'd you hear about us and where are you from? Give me a little of your background. Malika?
Um, I heard about it through someone I met in passing, and they told me about government contracts and government contractors, because I said I had worked on one years ago. And I had always been interested in this space, but never knew too much about it. So I started doing some digging and just talking to different people. A neighbor of mine was telling me about getting a DUN number. I didn't know anything about that. And setting up a LLC and all of that. So I talked to a lot of people. I'm very
How'd you
open.
hear about GPI?
Oh, that's how. Through just I met someone in passing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I just meet different people and start talking to people. And I was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, I'm on my phone. I'll take your number. I'm on this webinar with GPI." And I was like, "Really? And
Yeah.
what's that?" And then they gave me the information and said, "Well, you could sign up for webinars." And that's when I started really taking government contracting seriously. But I always meet a lot of people in passing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And thank you. Anne. I don't know who Anne is. She's just sitting back there quietly. Yes, Anne, you've unmuted.
Yes. Hi.
Yes, yes, ma'am. What was your takeaway and how'd you hear about us and Where are you from?
I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, living in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay,
And I heard about you all through the Black Chamber of Atlanta.
okay. And what was your takeaway?
My takeaway was I thought I had to be specialized in the field as well.
Mm.
Didn't know that, you don't have to be the specialist, just find the specialist. That's the major takeaway.
That's how we make money.
Hmm.
I thank you guys for joining me this morning, and I hope you all become a part of the community. And what we're doing through these cohorts, that's how you build in capacity. We pulled from each other, and now we got a company. It's all perception. All right. So if you have any additional questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. I'm putting my number in the chat. And thank you again for taking the time out on a Saturday morning and joining me. All right.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Enjoy your day.
I will send you the recording later too. All right.
Okay, thank you.